Chapter 10, Lesson 5 and Lesson 6. Putting rational and irrational numbers in order from least to greatest. In order to put number in order from least to greatest, please change all the values into decimals and then adjust the place values with repeaters and zeros. You need enough place values to show each decimal is a different value. Okay, so the first number you want to look at obviously is the whole number, and then look at the first decimal place value. Okay, so with doing this, it would start with 3.25, followed by 3.3 repeating, followed by 3.6, followed by 4.15, and then ending with 4.5 is the biggest number. So those are in order from least to greatest. And then don't forget when you're dealing with negative numbers that it actually appears to be backwards. The bigger the number, okay, without looking at the negative sign, the actually smaller than the negative number. So we would start with negative 2.3, followed by negative 1.825, followed by negative 1.4, followed by negative 1.25, and finishing up with positive 1.325. Okay, so technically 1.325 is actually the biggest number in this group of numbers because it's the only positive value. Okay, and then the next example, again, starting from these are positive numbers, so the smaller the number, the least is the least value. So 2.1, followed by 2.1 repeating, followed by 2.17, followed by 2.7, and ending with 2.7 repeating itself. Okay. And then this last example of negative numbers. So we're actually looking for what appears to be the biggest number is actually the smallest. So negative 3.26. Negative 3.25 repeating. Negative 3.25. Negative 3.22. And finishing it off with negative 3.2. And again, negative 3.2 is just a little bit of a greater number than negative 3.22 because it would be negative 3.20, which is actually closer to 0 than negative 3.22. Okay. All right. And then we have, and this is more of the lesson 6 part of what you'll do tomorrow when after you're done watching your videos, is now you'll convert the different types of numbers into decimals, okay? And then you will put them in order. So 2.45 would be 245% would be 2.45. 2 3/5 would be 2.6. The square root of 8.8 would be 2.966, etc. 2.3 repeating and 2.6 repeating are already decimals. So as you can see, we would have from our smallest number to our biggest number would be 2.3 repeating, followed by 245%, followed by 2 3/5, followed by 2.6 repeating itself, and then ending it with the square root of 8.8. Okay, and again, these would be 2.45, 2.6, and 2.966, etc. Okay. All right. And then converting this next round, the square root of 3.2 is technically 1.7888. With some more numbers, this would be 1.5, 1.55. This would be 1.83 repeating itself. And the cube root of 5 would be 1.709975. Okay, so if we were to put them in order from least to greatest, it would be 1.5 followed by 155%, followed by the cube root of 5, followed by the square root of 3.2, and ending it out with a fraction 11/6 being the biggest number of the group. Okay, and lastly, we would have negative 2.4 repeating, followed by negative 2.4, followed by okay, so negative, this would be negative 2, .3 repeating itself, which would be next, followed by the negative square root of 5. Okay, and then negative 175% would be negative 1.75. And negative 2.23, 6, etc. So again, as you can see, negative numbers do work backwards. So it looks like but the bigger the negative, the lesser of the value of the number because it's farther away from 0. Okay? All right, so that brings us to the end of our video. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.